This is the third game from the Juno 7 LSAT. Please pause the video if you'd like a chance to set it up on your own first, before we discuss it together. This third game is a fairly straightforward ordering game. We're using just 4 elements, destinations G, J, M, and T, each of which must be used at least once to fill in 7 positions, weeks 1 through 7 of the voyages that Freedom has on its schedule. The first 2 rules are simple to notate on our diagram. We can cross out J from underneath the 4th position and put T in the final position. The third rule has 2 components. There are exactly 2 M's, and we can notate that on our list of elements, and there must be at least 1 G in between those M's. We can represent that aspect of the rule with an MGM chain. The 4th rule is probably the sneakiest of the bunch, because if you aren't careful, you might read it to mean that G and J must always be together and not think twice about it. We do know that we have to have at least 1 GJ in there, because we need to have at least 1 J, and we need to have a G somewhere in front of it. But that doesn't mean that we have to have a J following every single G, or the G and J always have to come together. Notice, if you think about it, we could place a G somewhere by itself without a J behind it, and we wouldn't be violating this rule in any way. So again, what we know is that when we have a J, we must have a G immediately before it, and so we can represent the situation with a conditional statement. And we can notate the final rule by using the letter X as a stand-in for all letters in general. Also note that we can make a small inference that since T is last, per this rule, it can't also be 6th. So that's it for the diagram. Not a whole lot of inferences to be made, but the fact that we have to fit in this MGM chain in there somewhere, combined with some of the other rules, such as the fact that we can't have 2 consecutive, and we also have to get a J with a G in front of it in there somewhere, does limit us quite a bit. Let's go ahead and move on to the questions. Here's question 11. This is a standard rules question, or a question that asks for one possible arrangement of elements into positions per the rules that are given. We can solve this problem by going down the list of conditions one at a time and eliminating the answer choices that violate those rules. The first rule, which tells us that J can't be 4th, allows us to eliminate answer choice D, which places J 4th. The second rule allows us to eliminate E, which doesn't have T as the last element. The third rule allows us to eliminate answer choice B, which doesn't fit a G in between the 2 M's. And the fourth rule allows us to eliminate C, which has J in the first week without a G in front of it. That leaves us with A as the correct answer. Here's question number 12. For this problem, we're asked what cannot be true. We can go down the list of answers and compare them to our diagram. Answer choice A says the Freedom makes a trip to T in week 6. We already made the inference that because T is 7th and can't go in consecutive weeks, T can't be in 6. So we know A can't be true, and we can select it and move on. Here's question 13. if we put a T into week 5, then we have very limited options for where we can put in the MGM chain and also the minimum 1 J with the G in front of it. Either the GJ have to be placed in slots 1 and 2, leaving 3, 4, and 6 for the MGM chain, or we could place M and then G and J into the first 3 positions, which would mean that either M or G have to go into positions 4 and 6, because neither T nor J can go into either of those spots. So per these 2 possibilities, A, B, C, and E all must be false, but D could be true, and so D is the correct answer. Here's question number 14. If freedom goes to J in 5, it must also go to G in 4. So we can fill in our board with the given information and that inference. That leaves very limited options for our MGM chain. Actually, it just leaves us with just 2. The first M in the 2nd position and the last M in the 6th position, or the first M in the 3rd position and the last M in the 6th position. So the first M has to go into either the 2nd or 3rd position, and for both of those options, the final M has to go into the 6th position. So the correct answer is answer choice E. Question number 15. If freedom goes to G in 1 and T in 2, the only way to fit in the MGM chain, as well as the J, which has to have a G in front of it, is to put M, G, J, M into positions 3 through 6, respectively. Per these inferences, A must be true and is the correct answer. Here's question number 16. Placing M in 3 seemingly still leaves us with a lot of options for how we can fill in the remaining positions. So we want to evaluate each of these answer choices carefully, again, being mindful of the MGM chain and having to fit a GJ in there somewhere. A seems like it could work just fine. We could place the final M in 6 and the GJ in 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and leave it for now. B can't work because we can't have J in 4, so we can eliminate B. C can't work because we can't have 2 M's next to each other, and so we can eliminate C as well. D can't work because we can't have T in front of J, so we can eliminate D. And then lastly, E actually can't work as well because then we wouldn't have enough space to fit in the MGM and the GJ. So we've eliminated B through E, and A is our only possible option, and so A is the correct answer. Here's question number 17. Per what we know of the game, neither A nor B seem like they must be true, though we can certainly test them out further if later if need be. To think about C, we have to ask, could Freedom possibly make 3 voyages to Guadeloupe? And there doesn't seem to be any reason why not. We could put in 3 G's and still have 2 M's, a J, and a T, and that seems like that would work out just fine. To think about D, we have to ask, could Freedom make 3 voyages to Jamaica? And the answer is no, it could not. If it did, it'd have to make at least 3 voyages to Guadeloupe, and it doesn't have enough space to fit in 3 J's, 3 G's, and then also make the required visits to M and T as well. So, D must be true and is the correct answer. On the real test, if you're certain of your reasoning, you could at this point select D and move on. But just to finish off, there's absolutely no reason why we can't have 3 T's, and so there's no reason for us to eliminate answer choice E. That's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you found that helpful. For more LSAT instruction, please check out my other videos, the trainer website, and of course, the LSAT Trainer Study Guide. Take care.